Hello everyone, I'm Baba Safara, your clinical nutritionist in medicine, and welcome to Nutgrain with Baba Lo. Today I'm thrilled to have a special guest joining me, Nadine Kruger, the founder and director of AnchorPoint. Nadine is an expert in labor relations, compliance, and community advocacy. Today we'll be unpacking critical topics like workplace injustice, labor disputes, compliance requirements, and how small businesses can protect themselves. So stay tuned. This is going to be an eye-opening conversation. Let's go. Welcome to Nutgrain with Bawala Safara. How are you, Nadine?
Fine, thanks, and yourself. Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for making time to be with us here today. And as I've introduced you and your company, which I think a lot of people would love to know the kind of services that you run at your company. Like I said, that you're a powerhouse. And if you can just for intro, just tell us who is Nadine and what does Nadine do?
Thank you so much. Well, Nadine is firstly a wife and a mom. I think that is my basic platform. And then I am also the founder and director of AnchorPoint Administrative and Liaison Services.
Wow. Okay. And what inspired you to start your business? And what was your first step? What made you to say that, you know what, this is the line of work that I'm gonna do? Basically, your background.
I think AnchorPoint was born out of a very difficult period in my own life. I experienced workplace bullying, victimization, and because of that, I ultimately lost my employment. So during that time, I realized that there's a lot of vulnerable people out there that really do not know and understand the labor processes or know where to seek the help. And I could have gone and say, well, I'm just going to sit in a corner now, but I decided no. With all the experience and everything, I'm not going to let this little setback define me. So I decided to help other people in similar challenges with labor matters and all of that. So AnchorPoint was it wasn't just a simple starting a business to get an income. It was about creating a support structure for other people as well.
Sure. When you say you lost your job, did you resign or were you fired?
No. If I say I lost my job, I was actually fired. And I think if I have to put it in words, it was basically because at one stage I decided you cannot just sit back for a bully or for the victimization and intimidation. And I was not the only female in the company that had that problem, but I was the third one that left their job. And I was actually fired.
Wow. And look, bullying is very normal. We think this thing ends in school when we are young because we don't know how to fight back. And then you get to the workplace. I mean, I'm sure everyone has a story out there where they can tell about their own. I have my own personal one. I resigned from 3 jobs because I just couldn't take the bullying, and there's people who stay there because they need the money. And I think the bullying also comes from authorities who are inferior, and they want to feel superior by suppressing you as an employee. And people never know where to go. And I mean, if I knew you back then, I would have came to you and said, Nadine, please help me with this. I don't know what to do. Like, where do I go? And so I can fully relate to that. And the reason why I asked you also is so that because people think that if I resign, like we're thinking the first thing that I need to do is to resign. We don't think there's any solution at all, you know. And
Yeah.
I'm glad that we're having this conversation, because I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who go through depression, anxiety. They don't look forward going to work simply because of the experience that you had and you and I have had, you know. That leading us to the next question, that how do you stand out in your industry or among your competitors?
I think it's mainly because my business, we don't focus on one specific area,
Yeah,
such as labor or compliance or consulting. We as It's a broader support system. So we understand that there's people out there and business owners that often face multiple challenges. So at the same time, labor issues and compliance concerns. But what is truly remarkable is that we can say, listen, yeah, we can sit with you, and we want to make a truly accessible difference in your company.
yeah,
We go and sit and we explain to them complex matters and in plain language, because not everyone understands the legal terms that's out there. So we take it and we break it down to them, and we give them the plain common language that everyone can understand. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So should someone want to I have a Nude Green right now. It's not a big company. I'm the only employee there. So once I start if as my company grows to 5,000 to 10,000 employees, this is me prophesying right now. And I need to build a structure. So you're saying that I should come to you, and that's how. And what is it that I need? But when I come to you, what kind of information would you need from me?
Well, basically, we sit down with you and we go through what you've already got and what you
Yeah,
need to be compliant and legal and going forward with your 5,000 employees. And
yeah.
we help you with the structure
10,000.
for that.
10,
10,000.
10,000.
Okay, we go for it. So basically, we sit down with you, we help you with your contracts, we help you with guiding you to be a legal entity, make sure that you are registered where you're supposed to be registered, your
Mm,
UIF, your SDLs, and all of that. Yeah. So we sit with companies and we help them so that they can focus on building their company, and we focus on making sure that they are legal and compliant.
mm. Okay, and right now, what role has your local your has what role has your local community played in your growth as a company, and how do you give back to your company? I mean, to your
Um,
community.
well, the community has played a tremendous role in our growth. People trusted us before, and if I say trusted us before, is for 20 years I've been doing this kind of work, being there for communities, helping communities grow, and helping them with issues that they have. So I've established that reputation for myself already. So
Yeah,
just going into with your own business and starting that, you've already got that ground where the people trust you and they know they can come to you. So the community is really, that is my backbone. My communities are my backbone right over South Africa.
yeah,
If it's not for the communities, then I cannot move forward. Um, Giving back, it happens in many different ways. Sometimes just helping someone understanding the rights and providing them with information free without
yeah,
just seeing rand signs and saying, well, this is a company where we give back to the community in that way, in advocating for accountability for our communities. I think the support of the community remains one of our biggest and core responsibilities.
yeah, yeah. And what advice would you give to aspiring small businesses owners and that just started?
Um, I think don't wait for perfect conditions, because they really, really don't arrive. Um, most successful businesses start with limited resources. I mean,
Yeah.
limited resources it's an uncertain ground that you are entering, but build your reputation before chasing profit. I think that is basically one of the biggest things that I've also learned.
Yeah.
You have to accept criticism. There will always be criticism.
Sure.
And surround yourself with people who challenge you and support you.
Yeah. Yeah. And when it comes to, I mean, I know you and I met on Facebook, and but is there other ways where you are marketing your services?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. At this stage, it's just Facebook, and then we are busy with the website.
Yeah.
Um, I think maybe because at this stage, social media is a educational platform before it's a marketing platform. So we share
Yeah.
a lot of information about labor rights and compliance requirements. And I think a lot of people in today's life, like you said, they're getting bullied, and then they go back to what is familiar for them. And Facebook, social media is familiar for them because it's a place where they can escape themselves. And
Sure.
I think when
Sure.
they feel that they get that one-on-one, someone that's listening and not just someone that is against them. That
Yeah.
platform at this stage, like social media, is for me, it's very, very important. Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. You're right because I mean I do have a website, but people when they even big clients when they're searching for me, they don't go for my website. They don't say what's your website. They go search for on all social media platforms to check if I'm in the public. Am I engaging with people? Because like you say, today people don't check for or they don't go to websites anymore. Everybody's on social media platforms, and like you
Yeah.
say that most people we use social media platforms as a drug, like as like a drug. Instead of taking a drug, you go to for social media platform, right? So whilst it will be great when they get the information on social media where they have lost hope, and I mean, I'm sure I would have dealt with my cases. Hey, you came too late, man, Nadine. You know,
But luckily, I'm there now, so I
you are
can I
here
can always
now.
be there now. Yeah.
Yes, and that is why I'm happy to have this conversation with you because this cycle doesn't have to be repeated. You know, they this generation can do things better. You know,
Yes, I believe.
yeah,
Yeah, they can do it better, and I think they have to understand, and that is why I use social media to make a platform where they can understand.
yeah,
I put a lot of the things that I understand and that I went through on flyers on social media,
mm,
and saying, is this maybe that what you're going through? So make a little tick box. This is what workplace bully looks like.
yeah,
This is what, so yeah, social media is very important, and I think it is a nice platform for people where they can just go and see that I'm not alone. There is a lot of
yeah.
people out there that is
Yes,
going through exactly the same.
yes. Because I believe that depression, anxiety is as a result of thinking that you are the only one who's going through that.
Yeah, it is. And gaslighting as well. A lot of people don't understand because they start thinking that they are the problem, and it's not
Yeah,
the truth. There's a lot of
yeah,
people out there that's sitting in similar, and that's
sure.
another thing that I want to do with the social medias, bring those people together, and
Mm,
so that you can understand you're not alone. There's other
mm,
people going through this, and
mm,
we're going to stand together. We're
yeah.
not just going to stand for the bully, and you're not going to just go in and resign or go into that depression, because workplace health is very, very, very important.
Yeah. Before I go to my next question, can you paint a bit of a picture what bullying looks like at work? Because I'm sure people are being bullied and they don't even realize that they're being bullied.
Yeah, there's such a big variety of things that we can talk about and that we can show as bullying, but it's going to take hours. But micromanagement.
We'll create another episode for that. That's perfect.
Yeah. But if I can just name one thing, micromanagement in South Africa is one of the biggest forms of bullying in the workplace. And a lot of people say, but that is the way that management. No, it's not. Go and have a look at your laws. Micromanagement is a way of bullying.
Wow.
Yes.
I've been bullied all my life.
You see, we should have been together a long time ago.
Exactly. I think I need trauma counseling. I need trauma counseling right now. So, what is the misconception about your industry that you'd like to clear up? And I'll be honest. I used to think that you are on the same level as like lawyers, where you can represent in court, and So just to clarify that, what other misconceptions are there?
No. We are not lawyers. We cannot go and give you any legal advice. We are there. We are consultants that stands with you through this trying time that you go through. But I think the biggest misconception is that a lot of people feel that labor consulting and issues only comes in once there is conflict or disciplinary actions that needs to be taken. But in reality, that it happens, a lot of this happens before the issue arises. So if I can talk to not the individuals out there, but the businesses, and say, you don't have to go through all of this. As long as you've got your proper policies, your training, your communication, that is going to help you and guard you from all of this, because good labor relation protects both the employer and the employee. And I think another misconception is compliance only applies to larger companies. That's not the truth. The small business out there faces exactly the same risks and the same needs that a big company does.
Yeah. And can you give us a moment where you almost gave up? Like, I'm talking about in a line of business where you're like, you know what, this line of business, I am sick and tired of it because of 1, 2, 3, 4.
I think there was a lot of times that I just thought, you know what, no, let's just stop. I think the biggest one is maybe, and I have to put it out there for the small businesses and the people that want to start, financial pressure. Financial pressure, slow growth, and that uncertainty when you're going into, is this journey really this worth? Is it going to be sustainable? How am I going to go about this? So I say, if I have to say that there was times in the past 6 months, let's take it for the past 6 months, there was trying times. But then again, you realize if someone phones you and you talk to them and they say, thank you, you were a lifesaver, then you realize, but you know what? AnchorPoint is becoming bigger than my own circumstances, and I am there for the people. And then you go on with your journey again.
Yeah. So that's what kept you going.
That's what kept me going. Communities, people that say thank you. Success stories.
Sure.
Other people's success stories makes me believe that I am going to be a success story. And that is one thing you have to speak that over yourself. And like you said, now you're 10,000 employees. So let's look, even if I can have 100 in another 6 months time, it will be fun for me.
And how do you balance your creativity or passion with your life? Like, with the practical side of running a business?
I'll say passion gives the business purpose, but the system keeps the door open. So as much as I enjoy helping people, there's also a need for proper administration and financial planning and policies and all of that. So I've learned that a business cannot just survive on passion alone, although I've got a big passion for my communities and for people. And I will, well, if I can finance, someone can give me a few $1 million, then I can just do it for free. But I think the challenge in finding a balance
I love the currency. Okay, I hear the number, but the currency, you didn't go to
well, we
bed.
have to go for bigger. I think the challenge is finding a balance where the heart of the business remains intact while still maintaining a very professional standard. Yeah.
Sure. And what's your next business? Okay, sorry. What's next for your business and your big goals for the next year or 5 years?
Sure. Okay. Well, I think at this stage, I think for the next few years, I would really like to see AnchorPoint become a recognized support organization, not just in Mpumalanga where I am based, but throughout the whole of South Africa. I think we want to grow our membership base, expand our services, and develop educational programs regarding especially bullying. I think, like you spoke, bullying is a very part of AnchorPoint's core business. And I think another goal is to establish strong partnerships with organizations that share our values, accountability, fairness, and empowerment.
Okay, so we are done on the personal questions. And tell me, what are the most common legal risks small businesses face, and how can AnchorPoint help them stay compliant?
I'll say I think many small businesses unknowingly expose themselves to risk through incomplete employment contracts, poor disciplinary procedures, lack of workplace policies. They expose themselves because there's a lot of people out there that really goes into seeing how they can, I'll say, sabotage them. Another major risk is informal business practice, handshake agreements, undocumented arrangements. That is not legal. It is binding, but there's always a dispute. So AnchorPoint assists businesses by identifying these rules and these risks, helping them early on, implementing practical compliance measures before the problem becomes a very costly one.
And how does AnchorPoint ensure that businesses meet POPIA, which is the data protection, right?
Yeah, that's very good.
Compliance, and why is that crucial? Why is it important?
I think the POPIA has become an increasingly important in most businesses because 99% of businesses collect a large amount of personal information. So we help businesses to understand what the information is that they collect, how it should be stored, how to access it. We also assist with the policies and the procedures and the awareness. Protecting personal information is not only legal requirements, but also a trust between the business and their customers. So we help them to make sure that they are compliant in all of that.
Nice. And when it comes to CCMA, I always hear CCMA is like an enemy for every employee.
No, it's not an enemy. I think the biggest mistake most businesses do is they wait until they receive a CCMA referral before they take action.
Yeah.
So documentation, procedural fairness, proper communication, these are all things that is very essential long before any hearing takes place. So we assist businesses in preparing that, but we also assist the individual that comes to us and say, listen, yeah, this is what we need. So before you go to the CCMA, before you fill any form or there's any date, we will make sure that you are 100% right and you go in there with the best. We're not going to leave you hanging. We're going to make sure that your procedures and your approach to the CCMA will be professional and will be fair.
And can you walk us through how AnchorPoint handles community advocacy? Like, what types of disputes or issues do you help with?
Well, community advocacy often starts with listening to people, because a lot of times I've realized over the 20 years that it's a small issue, but someone just wants someone to listen to them and to give them that bit of feedback. So people approach us regarding municipal concerns, service delivery issues, administrative challenges that they have. And we gather the information, identify possible solutions, and help people understand the available processes that there are. So our main goal is not to help them to make this big conflict story, but rather to have a constructive engagement and accountability for the people that has to be accountable. So we are there to be the ear and the voice for the communities where they really need that.
And I think one of the reasons why people are always afraid to go to, like, come for help is because they think once I take my company to CCMA, because this is how I feel and I'm not heard, from then I'm gonna be ill-treated, I won't get promoted, or I'll be there's gonna be like a constructive dismissal. You know, when they start complaining about little things that you went to or for lunch for an hour and 5 minutes, that 5 minutes now is counting. So like I think people also are afraid of that, and I think that's why CCMA for a lot of people is almost like, okay, I'm gonna lose my job. Is that the case though?
No, people have to understand that they've got the right to say, listen, yeah, this is not on. I'm not a. I mean, every person out there is a valued person, and whether you are a cleaner or you're an advocate or you are whoever, you are important. And there's no law in South Africa that say that bullying someone or taking someone just a step further and saying, listen, yeah, this is not the way it's about. And that's why I say getting everything sorted before you go to the CCMA, before you go. And that's why I want to reach out to people and say, if you are in a situation where you feel, I cannot take this anymore, phone us. Let's talk about it. Let me be the ear. And then I can state as a person on the outside, can take it further. And before we go to that, we go to a mediation where we sit around the table and we talk about it. And you're not going to lose your job, because if they fire you because you are reaching out for someone to help you, that is unfair dismissal. And constructive dismissal, at the end of the day, it costs companies so much. So they would rather have to get something sorted out than going this way, that 6 months, 8 months, you go for arbitration and it's lawyers and all of that. So no, I think people must understand that the CCMA is really there to help. And that is why there are people like me, labor consultants and AnchorPoint, that help these people to understand what their rights are.
So just a bit of a story. I don't know if this ever happened to anyone, but I was once requested to resign. Okay. And I didn't want to resign. And the thing is, I knew I was good at what I was doing. So, and there was a bit of constructive dismissal that was being cooked, but I could prove them wrong with everything they would bring to my table, to a point where this, she was one of the directors, and she was like, honestly, I just want, I promised my friend's daughter that I'll get her a job in this company. So I'm just nicely asking you to resign. All right. Is that allowed? Like, is that when someone does that? Because at that point, I didn't know what I should do. Right. So what I did, I negotiated. I was like, if you give me a 6 month salary, I will be gone. Otherwise, I'm not going anywhere. But like, we don't know what limits, like what to say yes to, what to say no to. And for someone who does not even have negotiation skills, they could have just left because now they are being intimidated by this boss lady, you know. But how do you, is that even legal for someone to ask you to resign?
No, it's not legal, and that is where the constructive dismissal part comes in. So, was what's going to happen now is she's going to make it so miserable for you to work there that you're going to feel at the end of the day, I'll rather just resign and go. And
Hmm.
that is where AnchorPoint comes in. We can sit with them, and that you are allowed to have someone to speak for you,
Yeah.
to sit there and negotiate. I mean, it's the same as someone walks in and tells you now that, listen, yeah, we want to take over your show and goodbye. I gave it to my nephew. So
Hmm.
no, it's not allowed. You are not allowed to there. There is structures and there's laws for this.
Sure. Sure. Now I wish I can turn back the clock, but go with you.
Yeah, well, it would have helped, but like I said, we'll move forward on that one.
Sure, sure, absolutely. And for businesses that are expanding right now, like let's say with my from 5,000 to 10,000 now, right? What governance structures or compliance steps do you recommend early on?
I think growth creates complexity, and as businesses expand, clear structures become increasingly important. So, I think the first thing I would recommend is proper policies, defined responsibilities, document procedures, your employment contracts for your extra 5,000 people, risk management. Strong foundations make further future growth much more easier. I think so. The sooner you get your base ready and strong, then you can move on from there.
Um, how can small businesses protect themselves from reputational risk in labor relation?
Reputation is built over years, but like one small thing on social media and your reputation is damaged very, very quickly. I think businesses should communicate it openly, treat employees fairly, and maintain proper procedures. In today's digital environment, labor disputes quickly become public knowledge
Hmm.
because you are fed up, you're cross, and you go out there. And what is the biggest and the quickest way to get it out there as you go onto social media and you
Yeah,
go say, I am so fed up with this and this and this. And
yeah.
that leads to another person. Like we always say, that word of mouth. How do you grow your business? Word of mouth. If I do
Mm,
something good, it's got to be said to one person. But do something bad or something that's not right and
mm.
get said to 10 different persons. So I think fairness, consistency, professionalism, it's the strongest protection against reputational damage out there.
Sure, sure. Because I've noticed how when I have any disputes with any service provider, I go on Twitter. Just one message is enough. It's enough.
Exactly. It is. That's like I said, it's that social media platform. It's just one. You just have to say one. And there's
Wow.
such a lot of followers and they see it. And that
Mm,
business is then you get the people, I'm not going to go to that business anymore. I will not use that service provider.
sure,
So
sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Like what happened with one of the most recent one is Standard Bank, where one of the clients was yeah, it's a long story, but she bought expensive car through Standard Bank and the next thing. But she spoke about this story on social media, and Standard Bank started losing clients because of that, because
I think yeah, there was
yeah,
another one of Standard Bank about the person that bought that small little house, and it was a loan for what 40,000, and now it's 90,000. Yeah, so, and they started losing with that as well. So
yeah,
yeah, public social media can be very good for you, but you
yeah,
have to be very careful.
yeah, sure. So what makes Anchor Point a good fit for both farms and urban businesses? Are there unique compliance challenges for each, or are they similar?
Farms and urban businesses operate differently. They often face similar challenges regarding labor relations, because that does not change whether you're on a farm or in an urban business. Your labor relations and compliance stays the same. But farms get another operational risk. So agricultural businesses may face housing and seasonal labor issues, but urban businesses deals with larger administrative and regulatory requirements. So our approach is to understand each environment and develop the practical solutions specific to the industry that contacts us.
And how does Anchor Point help with internal policy development? And do you guys customize for each business, or is general?
No, every business has got its unique needs. I mean, your needs will be different from Anchor Point's needs. So
Yeah.
we do not simply provide templates. Templates can be one of the biggest downfalls that you have. So
Mm,
we work with the business to understand their operations, their staff structure, risks, etc., before developing their policies. So
yeah.
good policies create consistency, protect the employees, and provide guidance during difficult situations.
Mm, mm. Wow, Anchor Point. So,
Anchor point.
so why is having a structured risk management plan crucial, and why? And sorry, what steps does Anchor Point guide businesses through?
Well, I think businesses face risks every day. I don't think there's a day that goes past that you don't face some kind of a risk, whether it's financial, operational, legal, or reputation, like we just spoke. So,
Yeah.
risk management helps businesses to identify their vulnerabilities
Mm,
before it becomes a serious crisis and a serious problem. I think at Anchor Point, we help businesses identify the risk,
mm.
prioritize them, and then implement practical solutions before those challenges become legal issues.
Yeah, yeah. And how do you make sure businesses feel peace of mind while navigating complex legal requirements?
I think a lot of business owners feel overwhelmed because legislation and compliance requirements seems very complicated. But our role is specifically there to make it as simple as possible for them. We explain the requirements in an understandable language and provide the practical guidance for them. Ultimately, I think peace of mind comes from knowing that you have someone walking alongside you,
Mm,
understands the process, and genuinely wants to see your business succeed.
yeah.
That is where Anchor Point comes in. We are that partner that stands with you and that walks with you and that wants you to succeed. So that is why we want your compliance to be at its best.
So I'm listening to you, I'm watching you sitting on my couch and not knowing where to start. And I see Nadine talking about all of this compliance. How do I start? How does Anchor Point, how do I become a member? Or how does it work? What's the structure?
So we've got business structure that we go out to the businesses and we help them and give them an idea of what we can do for them. But our main focus, like I said, is communities and community-driven activities. So we want to be there for the man on the street, the one that does not have the big corporate lawyers behind them. So becoming a member of AnchorPoint for the month of July, membership is for free, and then after that it is 100 Rand a month. Whereas if you are a member of AnchorPoint, for your 100 Rand a month, you get a 24-hour service. So we are always there, a phone call away. You can phone us, WhatsApp us, and we can give you the guidance on what to do. Not just walk out because I am tired, but what is the legal steps for you to do. And
Yeah.
for that 100 Rand as well, if your case should go to the CCMA or there's letters involved and all of that, because you're a member of AnchorPoint, you get 35% discount on all further and future help that you need.
For 100 rands only.
For 100 Rand a month, yeah.
Wow. And so do you have specific city provinces you are serving, or are you national?
No, we are situated in Mpumalanga in Nelspruit, but we work all over South Africa. I did a few cases now in Gansbaai, that is in the Cape. So no, we're not limited to that. That is where the good thing of technology comes in,
Sure.
because you can do everything on Teams or on Zoom or whatever.
Yeah.
And we are there for the people.
Yeah.
And that is why I say WhatsApp, and we are there for
Yeah.
100 Rand a month.
I mean that's quite for I mean I'm going to share your the information with the viewers on exactly what your services are, and 100 Rand is actually nothing versus what you are the services you're providing, you know. But I want to ask, so is it 100 Rand? Do you have packages like if it's a family of five, and you know?
Yes, we've got business packages, and then we've got our family packages, we've got pensioner packages. So there's a really a very variety of how AnchorPoint can assist the communities. And I know you say now 100 Rand is not much, but if you take at the end of the day, AnchorPoint wants to give back to the community. And
Mm,
giving back to the community means that to cover our administrative costs is the important part, but to stand with someone, that is why AnchorPoint is there. It is
yeah.
to stand with people. Yeah.
Yeah, and you spoke about municipalities. That's the part I still want us to get into and expand. But just briefly, how are you involved with the municipal cases?
If you take municipal cases, a lot of people has got. I mean, we all have a right to certain things in South Africa, and
Mhm.
I know that we are going towards a local municipal election at the moment, and people feel that they only get the service and the answers once there's an election. Then you see a lot of people running around and giving you answers. So what we do is we are there whether you've got a pothole or a pole that is down or a light that's not up and running. We are there to get the answers, to keep the people accountable that gets the big salaries. Um, we don't take on municipalities as such, but we stand with people. So if you phone me and you say, listen, yeah, for the past 9 months, we've been driving through Dongas just to get into our driveway, we're going to write to the municipality and we're going to ask them, but why? Why is there not available funds to fix the roads or the street lights or stuff like that? So that is how we get involved in municipality and municipal issues.
Uh, uh, so do you do this nationally?
Yes, we do this nationally. I'll say, for instance, I think that, like you said, you want your 10,000 workers. I think I would love to have an anchor point in every municipal district where
Mm,
they can say, we are here to work for the communities.
mm. So what I'm trying to understand is, because I mean, with what you just said, I'm sure that there's a lot of people, because you see me smiling. It's because I'm thinking, okay, now there's someone that I can go and report to, because now we don't know how to access our counselors and our mayors, and even the government itself. You complain about the same things, potholes, over and over again, and no one is listening. So I'm thinking there's a lot of people now who are actually thinking of this issue that has been reported multiple times, and but there's no solution. So I come to you. How's the process? What are the steps for you to even start to implement that?
I think if we can take it one step back and say, listen, yeah, the municipal has got, they have to fix it. They've got their budgets,
Yes.
and so what Anchor Point does is, you come to us, you phone us, you say, listen, yeah, I stay in 7 Van Riebeeck Street in Groenvallei. And we take it from there. You give us photos or any written verbal things that you've already done. We go to your municipality, to your municipal managers, to your every version of steps that we have to take. And if we do not get the feedback from there, we take it to your district, to the next level. So for instance, I'll take in Mbombela. If we do not get answers, yeah, then we take it to the legislator. So the legislator has to give us answers on why does the municipality does not perform. So there will always be an open communication between me and whoever gives us the problem, and that problem gets escalated. I mean, we've got a government that sits with, and I don't want to talk politics because we are not a political party,
Yeah.
but we're sitting with a government that has got an income, and if you have a look at the incomes, then it is a lot. And I had a look at the stats this morning, and there is not one municipality that can say that they cleared their audit. So we want to ask the questions on where does the money go? You get a
Yeah.
budget, you have to fix this stuff for the people.
Yeah.
I mean, we all pay rates and taxes. We have to pay our municipal bill. If you do not pay your
Yeah.
municipal bill, they're not going to stop. They're going to cut your lights and everything.
Mm.
So just give us back. Give us our street lights, our robots, our potholes. Fix that.
Yeah.
So that is what we do. We go from the municipal to the legislator, and we take it until we get someone to answer our
Mm.
questions on behalf of the community.
Wow. Um, this is you're giving us hope, since we are going, and November is around the corner. We're gonna be voting, and now we know that when things are not moving properly, we know Nadine is a call away. You're gonna be very busy, eh?
It's fine. It's fine. That's what I want to do. And that's why I'm so glad you got me on your platform, because
Yeah.
we have to grow, and we have to get the communities to stand up and say, this is ours. We want it back. We
Yeah.
don't want to sit back and see whoever gets another raise in the parliament or in the municipality. We want our streets and
Yeah.
our, yeah, that is what we want to do. So your Nadine is there.
Yeah, as we wrap up, yesterday I was actually last week Friday, I was doing my tax returns. Oh my gosh, my heart, when you have to pay for your returns, and I'm just like, so we are paying taxes like religiously, so, and they demand it. If you don't, they penalize you. There's all these threats, but then where is this money going? Because we have a lot of things, services, undelivered services, and yet we are paying tax, and it's so frustrating. And but I'm so happy to have you here today, and thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to expanding into. I want one episode where we're gonna be focusing mainly on this because there's so much that needs to be discussed, and people don't know what their rights are when it comes to this. It's just think that, okay, if it's left like this, then let it just be, but and because we don't know that Nadine is there, so I'm so happy that we had this conversation, and we're gonna be taking a lot of topics based on the services that you provide. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much for having me. And yeah, I'm looking forward to walking a nice path with you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. See you next time, eh?
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today on Nude Green with Baba Lucifera. I hope this conversation with Nadine Kruger gave you a practical insights and inspiration. If you found this helpful, please like, subscribe, and share this one with anyone who needs this guidance. And if you'd like to be a guest, don't hesitate to reach out. Until next time, let's grow together.